Hi, Pastor Chuck Blair. I am so excited to be talking with one of our dear friends from over at the Breathing Room Foundation today. And Breathing Room Foundation, for those of you who aren't aware, NewChurch Live has worked with that group on and off for a number of years now, and they just do amazing work. And what we've been trying to do is to really celebrate service. We're living in a time where it's so hard to get out and do service because of COVID, but we can always celebrate people who are just doing amazing stuff like we see over at the Breathing Room Foundation. So my friend Katie's joining us today to talk to us a little bit about that. And Katie, I'm going to pass it over to you and just let you give a quick introduction to yourself. And then I'd love to hear some more about just what does the Breathing Room Foundation do?
Sure. So I actually just started with the breathing room almost about 2.5 years ago. I came from a hospital setting, but I've always worked in nonprofits. And the breathing room really grabbed my attention. Being a working mom, I started wrestling with, I want to make sure what I do matters, and being away from my kids matters. And so I wasn't feeling that in the hospital setting of fundraising and things. And so I started to really look back at grassroots nonprofits, and the breathing room stuck out to me because it didn't matter what your needs were. They were going to try to figure out how they could at least impact it or make a difference in some way. Even if it was more than what we could do, we would try to reach out to volunteers, and you just got that community sense. And growing up, my mom didn't have cancer, but she was away from us for about 2 years with a stroke. And so I was one of 10. And it made me realize how important family is and how important it is to make sure that you're feeling fulfilled in what you do. And the breathing room really pictured everything that I was looking for, where it's not just about those that are fighting, it's the entire family. It's not even the people that are being diagnosed, it's the community that gets that support from supporting someone else. And so I really latched on to their mission and have been really happy that I've been able to work with them for 2.5 years. And I feel like even in the 2.5 year scope, I don't always fully understand the magnitude of what we do.
Right.
Because we do give a financial contribution to each family. And then we also do about 6 or 7 children's or family programs throughout the year. And so I get to see a little bit of each thing every day in my job. And sometimes I have to sit back and be like, wow, look at what we just did for one family in one whole year. It's breathtaking.
Yeah, and isn't it educated? Like one of the quotes I just love, 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 love. This is one worthy of getting a tattoo, which is, we can do no great things. This is Mother Teresa. We can do no great things. All we can do is small things with great love. And how many of the times, like with families who are struggling with cancer and those kinds of things, it sometimes it's the big thing, but a lot of the time it's the small thing that really, really matters a lot. And okay, when you think about it and you think about oh yeah, Chuck, this was my best day of work I ever had. Like what's the day of work that just rests on your heart? It's like, yeah, this was it. This is why I do this. This is why, even though I know you're paid, this is why I would do it even if I wasn't paid, because
Yeah.
it was so good.
So it's interesting because it started out as a horrible day. I had a horrible commute getting into work, and it was around our holiday program where we deliver gifts and things to our families. And I was in the office while everyone else was over at the hall managing things. So phones were off the hook, email wasn't working for me. And I wouldn't have considered it the best day. And then the doorbell rang and I opened it up, and it was one of our recipients that we're currently helping. And I had just done a call to action in the beginning of the week asking for gift cards. We even said, even if there's a balance on it, we can use it, and it could take away from the balance that we have to pay for toys and things like that. So, send us your gift cards. Let's try to reach this many gift cards that we can then purchase for all of the families that aren't sponsored. And she shows up, and she has her kids in the car. She's trying to run around, she's trying to get everything settled, but she just wanted to drop off. She actually is fighting brain cancer, and so her memory isn't the best. So before she forgot, she wanted to get me these gift cards, and she had said that people had given them to her, but she doesn't shop at these places or things like that, so she just felt like she had to pass it on. And it just reminded me that we have so many past recipients and past families who it's very cathartic for them to get back involved with us. And they wouldn't do that if they didn't feel the work that we did for them while they needed it. So just to think, she's trying to manage everything and still thought like, oh, I have to get these to the breathing room so that I can help somebody else.
That makes me a little teary.
I know, I get teary all the time, and I've always had to like talk myself off of actually crying.
Oh, well, let's both just take a big breath there, because that's so, that's so precious, right? And how many times do we see that, right? Where there's a courage in families who are going through these struggles that is just amazing, and just totally life-changing. I mean, there's a strength people find in those situations that, again and again, I think those of us who are privileged to work in those environments are, the word that comes to my mind is we're just humbled. Like, it just is very humbling to be around. I know you guys also do some bigger projects that we've been part of, backpacks and that kind of thing. And maybe you can just highlight just a couple of those sort of milestone projects that you folks do,
Sure.
as well.
Sure. So we, like I said, we don't want it to just be about the person battling, and we help anyone who is fighting, regardless of, age, gender, cancer type. Anyone that's in our service area, we want to make sure we're helping. And so we also realize that when you're in the midst of treatment, you don't always know what you need. You can't always think of weeks later or days later. So we try to find those touches where you wouldn't think that you needed it, and we're able to support. So we have like year-long comfort programs where we do frozen meals and just touches with the families, kind cards so that they know that we're thinking of them. And then the children's programs, as you're talking about, for instance, back to school is the one that's coming up most currently, and we reach out to each family and we are really personalized with it. So we make sure they tell us, if they have 3 kiddos in their family, we know what their kiddo's favorite, sports team is, we know what their favorite color is, everything that they might want. And then even for preschool and things, we take care of their whole list that you have to bring off for preschool. So we make really customized baskets and, in this case, school bags for our families, so that it wouldn't just be, oh, here's something generic that a bunch of people are getting. It would look like mom and dad picked it out for them. And then, that feels really good for the parents too. They were able to focus on themselves and know that someone was taking as good of care of their kids as they would have done. So, and then we have Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, speak a little more about Thanksgiving there.
Yeah. So Thanksgiving, same thing. All about families. We want to make sure that we are able to get them the exact experience that they would have on Thanksgiving. So everything is, frozen turkeys and things like that, and then baked goods. But we reach out and say, I was just telling you how I'm one of 10. So if it was my family and I said, I have to do Thanksgiving for 30 people, they would have given me everything that I needed to make sure that I had a memorable Thanksgiving with my 30 family members. And that's sort of the theme through Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter, is very personalized touches throughout the entire year that we can make them feel loved.
Yeah. What I love that idea of what you guys call touches, right? Because that's so much it, and that constant reminder. I think the battle a lot of people face is this battle of loneliness. And every time we do a touch, it's just this reminder, hey, we're all in it together, and you folks have been supportive to so many families, including a number over here at NewChurch Live, our congregation, who've gone through cancer and had to reach out and gotten help in some ways that are really neat. Another question for you, Katie. So like, speaking as somebody who's in the nonprofit world, you're in the nonprofit world, there's always that family that holds our heart. There's always that, like, oh, they're just on my heart today or this week or this month. And could you share with us? Yeah, this is the family I'm just holding on my heart these days.
Yeah, so it's actually a woman who is battling terminal cancer, but she is my age, and she has 2 little kids around the same age as my kids. So I think that whenever I make my deliveries or things, it's these families that even when they have nothing to give, still try to find a way to give back and things like that. So, she makes sure that her kids are able to make cards for us, even though there's not much else she can do. And just that constant thinking of others, even when she's in the midst of it. And she actually had a really beautiful quote where she was saying that sometimes she doesn't know what she needs or anything like that, but the breathing room knows exactly what a mother needs to fight cancer. Mm-hmm. And so we help over 2,000 families a year. So to hear and have all of these, Eileen and Mary Ellen and Tina, they remember every family story. And it's so great when they come back and they can tell me all of these things. But I'm noticing as a young mom, I'm seeing all of these people give back, and I'm seeing all of this kindness, and even the people that are going through these battles. And it just gives me faith for our future.
Yeah, it sure does. And isn't it, just I was doing a little sermon this morning talking about Martin Luther King's idea of the beloved community, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we're trying to create, is this beloved community where people really are there for each other. And that's a world we choose. I mean, we really can choose that. And you guys are doing such a great job at choosing it. A number of those folks you mentioned have actually spoken at New Church Live before, which we've been really appreciative of.
Yeah.
All right. I know we have a number of families who will be watching this and will be thinking like, wow, what a great organization. You guys are local. Lots of things that people are interested in giving towards. And I imagine, I'm not putting words in your mouth here to say that the needs you guys have not changed with the quarantine. There's still challenges. And if somebody was really interested in giving at this time, what would be the way they would go about giving your organization?
Yeah, so they could actually go right to our website, www.breathingroomfoundation.org. And then right on the right-hand side, it says donate to make a difference. And you can just click that and make an online donation. You can also visit our website if you'd prefer to mail in a check. It has all of that information on there. And we are definitely helping now more than ever, which is, people, resources are becoming very limited, and while others are pulling back, we are expanding our resources to make sure that we can solve more needs. And because we had to cancel 2 of our events this spring, we had a really generous donor who offered to match any gift up to $25,000 to really help us. And it only launched 3 weeks ago, and we are only $5,000 away from that $25,000 match. So we're really excited, and it's really giving us the confidence to continue to push on and keep supporting during COVID.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful stuff. And when does that match end?
So it actually ends the end of June.
Okay. We got some.
Yep, he did it for 60 days. So it started May 1st, and then June 30th, we'll tie it up and hopefully be able to, in those 60 days, raise $50,000, which is really exciting.
So Kate, just to thank you so much. And is there a closing word or closing thought you'd like to leave us with?
Just because we are reaching out to families and things doesn't mean you can't do the same. A text or a phone call goes a long way, and people are feeling very isolated. So we are reaching out to everyone as best as we can. I encourage you all to do the same. So thank you so much for thinking of us, and let's keep hoping that no family ever has to fight cancer alone.
That's it. Well, and just thank you guys for all you're doing. Please give your best from New Church Live to your whole wonderful team over there, Katie, and best of wishes.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you highlighting us.
Great.